Hello everybody, my name is Codlon639. Welcome back to another video. Today in this one I want to talk to you about the Fire King structure deck. This is going to be the newest structure deck in the Yu-Gi-Oh! TCG and is set to release later this week. Now this structure deck is actually looking very good. Why is that? Well, two reasons. Number one, there's a couple of good reprints in this. Infinite Impermanence, Droll, and Lockbird. Hell, even Solemn Judgment is in this because surprisingly Judgment's like a $3 to $4 card right now, so we'll take the Judgment reprint. But number two is the Fire King deck itself is actually making a lot of waves in the OCG right now, being one of the most represented decks over there right now, and that's exactly what I want to talk to you about today. Will the new Fire King support actually make it where Fire Kings can compete in our diverse metagame? So that's what we're going to talk about, so without further ado, let's get straight into the video. Alrighty, so before I can get to my opinions on the deck, I must cover what the new cards actually do. If you already know what the new cards do and just want to get my opinion and combos for the deck, I will put a timestamp somewhere on screen right now for you to skip to. But if you don't know what the Fire King support actually does, this is what this portion of the video is going to help you out with. So without further ado, let's start off with the new monsters, shall we? We'll start off with Legendary Fire King Phoenix. This is a level 1 Fire Wing Beast monster with 500 attack and 200 defense. And effect reads, if your monsters that were originally fired is destroyed by battle or card effect, you can special summon this card from your hand. And if this card is normal or special summon, you get to add a Fire King spell trap from your deck to your hand. And then during the next standby phase, after this card was destroyed and sent to the graveyard, you can add this card from your graveyard back to your hand. You can only use each effect once per turn. Now that is a very good effect to have for the Fire Kings. Not only does it get to special itself if a fire is destroyed, so you know what the Fire Kings are doing all the time, it gets to search a spell trap on normal or special, a Fire King spell trap, which is very good as well, and then it gets to add itself back to hand from the graveyard the next standby phase after it's destroyed. So very good. It's also a level 1 fire. That matters a lot in today's meta, so very good card to have in the archetype. Next thing up here is Fire King Avatar Hanuman. I think it's pronounced like that. I could be wrong. It's a level 4 Fire Beast Warrior monster with 1600 attack and 200 defense. And the effect reads, if a face-up Fire King monster you control is destroyed by card effect, you can special summon this card from your hand. And then when a spell trap card or effect is activated while this monster is on the field, you can quick effect and negate the activation, and if you do, destroy one other fire monster in your hand or face-up field. And you can only use each effect once per turn. So basically this is kind of the opposite of Fire King Avatar. I have it somewhere right here. So basically Avatar is the monster negate, and now we have Hanuman, which is the spell and trap negate. So very nice to have in the archetype. Also can just special itself when you destroy something or destroy a Fire King monster, which is very cool as well. Next thing up here, we have Sacred Fire King Garunix. This is a level 8 Fire Winged Beast effect monster with 2700 attack and 1700 defense. An effect reads, if your monster that was originally fired is destroyed by battle or card effect, you can special summon this card from your graveyard if it was there when the monster was destroyed, or from your hand, even if this card wasn't there. Then, if this card was normal or special summon, you can destroy one Fire Beast, Beast Warrior, or Winged Beast monster from your hand, deck, or face-up field, and if you do, this card gains attack equal to half of the destroyed monster's attack it had there until the end of the turn, and you can only use each effect once per turn. So it's a very good card. I know that top effect might be a little weird for you to read, so basically, if a monster that was originally fired is destroyed by battle or card effect, it can special summon itself from the graveyard or hand. And the reason why it says even if it's not there from your hand is because, like, if you search it off in a way in the same chain where a card got destroyed, even though it wasn't in your hand, if it gets added to the hand in the same chain, it can still special itself to the field. Weird ass ruling. Basically the Gazelle ruling, the Salamangreat Gazelle ruling is what it's trying to say. But it's a little confusing, but I can see why. But it's a very good card, so whenever, you know, a fire is destroyed by battle or card effect, you can just special itself to the field. And then when it's normal or special, you get to destroy a Fire Beast, Beast Warrior, or Winged Beast from hand, deck, or face-up field. That deck really does matter. Just being able to destroy anything from your deck is absolutely insane. Very good card to have in the archetype. Next thing up here is Fire King High Avatar Kirin. It's a level 8 Fire Beast monster with 2400 attack and 200 defense. And the effect reads, during the main phase, if this card is in your hand, quick effect, you can destroy one other fire monster in your hand or face up field, and if you do, special summon this card. And then if this card is destroyed and sent to the graveyard, you can special summon one Fire King monster from your hand or graveyard, and then you can destroy one card on the field. And then both effects are once per turn as well. Very good card to have in the archetype. Not only is it a quick effect to special summon itself during the main phase, but if it's destroyed, you can special summon a Fire King from your graveyard or hand and then pop a card. That can be on either player's field, so that's very good as well. And that's an optional effect, so you don't have to destroy, but that technically is interruption as well. And the card that it summons doesn't negate its effects either. So if you summon like the Hunamin or the Arvita, if you summon the monster negate or the spell trap negate, you can use it that turn as well. So it's a very good card to have in the archetype. That is it for the monsters. Now let's cover the spells. The first thing we're going to start off with is Sanctuary of the Fire Kings. This is a continuous spell for the archetype. When this card is activated, you can place one Fire King island from your deck face up into the field zone. Now that is a very good effect to have because Fire King Island does do a lot for the Fire King, so just being able to get more ways to it is absolutely going to be insane. And then once per turn, if a card in your field zone would be destroyed by card effect, you can destroy one fire monster in your hand or face up field instead. So basically protection for the Fire King Island as well. And then once per turn, if your opponent special summons a monster, you can immediately after this effect resolves, XYZ summon one Fire XYZ monster using only Fire King monsters you control as material. So that is a very insane effect, but we will come back to that effect in a little bit. I want to get back to that effect once we actually cover the new XYZ monster. So remember that effect. But overall, the card is very, very, very good. And then the other spell card is Fire King Sacred Immolation, which is a quick play spell card that reads, target the same number of Fire King monsters you control and cards your opponent controls, destroy them. That's very good. That's it of that sentence. So basically you target Fire King monsters you control and cards your opponent controls, destroy them. So that's interruption. Plus you're gaining advantage because you're destroying Fire King monsters. So they'll most likely plus you as well. And then if a Fire King card you control would be destroyed by card effect, you can banish this card from your graveyard instead. But you can only use one of the effects per turn and only once that turn. So overall, it's a good card. It's searchable as well thanks to Phonix as well. So very decent card to have. And that's it for the spells. Now let's cover the one trap card they have, Solidarity Strike of the Fire Kings. So basically, this reads as follows. Special summon one Fire Beast, one Fire Beast Warrior, and one Fire Wing Beast. One from the hand, one from the deck, and one from the graveyard, but negate their effects, also destroy them during the end phase. Then you can banish this card from your graveyard. This turn, your opponent cannot activate cards or effects when you normal or special summon Fire King monsters. Now, the trap card is pretty bad. Now, if it was able to summon all of them from deck or something like that, maybe it's worth it, but the fact that you have to summon one specifically from hand, one from deck, and one from graveyard kind of makes it a little weird. It all has to be different types as well. One has to be a wing beast, one has to be a beast warrior, and one has to be a beast as well. It's not even that good because it also negates their effects, so that's kind of rough as well. So the trap card isn't the greatest in the world. I don't think you'll see this being played at all. So that is it for the main deck. Now let's cover their new extra deck monster, Garunix Eternity Hanging of the Fire Kings. This is a rank 8 monster rank 8 fire monster with 3000 attack and 2000 defense. It requires 2+ level 8 monsters to make, so 2 or more level 8 monsters to make. And if this card is XYZ summoned, you can destroy all other monsters on the field. So basically, when it is summoned, it's just a dark hole. That's pretty fucking insane. And then you can detach one material from this card, then target a spell trap on the field, destroy it, and if you do, this card gains 500 attack. And then if this card is destroyed while it has material, you can spell summon Fire King monsters from your graveyard up to the number of materials it had, and you can only use each effect once per turn. Now, this is the reason why I wanted to wait before we got to the Sanctuary of the Fire Kings XYZ summon effect. So basically, this makes the quick play or the continuous spell very, very, very good, because that makes it where you can Dark Hole during your opponent's turn, which is very good to have. It also pluses you, so if they end up getting rid of this card, you can just special guys back, so it can be like a body block to make sure you don't die. It also is just an MST as well, which could come up very much in this meta, so very, very good to have. Overall, very insane card. It's also generic as well, so you can maybe see this being played in other archetypes as well. So that is it for the entire new Fire King support. Now let's get into the combos. So with all the new support that it just received, what does the Fire King deck actually do? Well, let's show you the combo, shall we? So all you really need is 2 cards in your hand, and that is Wanted and then whatever other card. Doesn't need to be the Avatar of Avatara. It doesn't really need to be that card. You just need a card to pitch, but it helps in this situation as well. So this is going to be showing off not only the new Fire King support, but also like being able to be splashed as well. So we're playing like the Diabellstar engine, and you'll later see the Snake Eye engine played as well. So let's show off the combo, shall we? So in draw phase, we'll do Wanted effect, searching the Diabellstar of the Black Witch from deck. We'll go standby main phase. We'll special summon Diabellstar, pitching the Avatar of Avatare. We'll do Black Witch on summon to set the original Sinful Spoils, and then immediately activate it, pitch the Diabellstar to special summon Snake Eyes Ash. When this card is normal to special summon, you get to add a level 1 fire monster from your deck to your hand. So we'll trigger the effect on summon to search Legendary Fire King Phoenix. And then we'll just normal summon, use the effect to search Sanctuary of the Fire King. And then we'll activate the Sanctuary of the Fire King effect to place Fire King Island into the field spell zone. And then we'll do Fire King Island, destroying the Phoenix to search out Garunix from the deck. And then we'll do Sacred King Garunix effect, since something was destroyed and it was technically in hand at the end of that chain. We'll special summon out the Garunix, and then effect of Garunix on field, we'll destroy Kieran from the deck. And then we'll do Kieran effect, since it was destroyed, special summon out that Avatare back from the graveyard. So very, very good there. You technically can pop a card as well, but that is optional, so we're not going to choose to do it here. And then we'll go ahead and we'll do the Snake Eyes Ash effect, their bottom effect, where you send itself and one other face-up card on the field to the graveyard, and we'll go ahead and special summon out a Snake Eyes monster, this one being Snake Eyes Flamberg Dragon. And then we'll go ahead and just immediately link both of them off into a Sunlight Wolf, and then Flamberge Dragon effect in graveyard. When it's sent to the graveyard, you can special summon 2 level 1s from your 2 level 1 fire monsters from your graveyard. We'll special summon out the Snake Eyes and the Phoenix in graveyard. Since we summoned 2 Sunlight Wolf Zone, we'll go ahead and do Sunlight Wolf effect. We'll add back the Kieran back from graveyard. And then here, this is where you can kind of diverse lines. It doesn't need to be exactly what I show you here. So basically, you can make like an Appaloosa play here if you really want to, or something like that. You can basically do whatever you want to do with this. But in this situation, I link into a Heat Soul. If it comes out, there it is. We'll pay 1,000 life points to draw a card. Again, this draw doesn't need to be anything. We draw Ash, which is very good, but this can be whatever the hell it is. And then we'll do the Wanted effect in graveyard. We'll bottom deck the original Sinful Spoils to draw another card. We draw Phoenix, which is fine as well. And then basically we'll just pass on that. That's our end board. Doesn't look impressive, but it does a lot by itself. So in standby, if it lets me go to standby here. Why is this taking forever? There we go. Standby phase. Before we trigger Heat Soul, I want to talk about something real quick. So if it goes there we go. Legendary Fire King Phoenix. Now, I don't know the exact ruling on this just yet. So technically, it was destroyed in the last turn when we used Fire King Island to destroy it. But we then brought it back from the graveyard off of the Flamberge Dragon and then linked it off. So I don't know if Fire King Phoenix gets its effect here. It's a weird one. I truly don't know. I don't think it does, but I could definitely be wrong on that. So check that ruling. But if it does trigger, then we obviously add the Phoenix back to hand here. But we're going to act like it doesn't trigger here, right? So in the standby phase here, we'll go ahead and just pay the 1,000 life points off of Heat Soul that we triggered earlier to draw a card here. So we'll go ahead, pay the 1,000, draw a card. Again, this can be whatever it is. It's just another Ash in this situation, so whatever. Then we'll go to main phase, so let our opponent kind of combo off here. And then we can do Kieran effect in hand, popping the Snake Eyes Ash to special summon itself, Garunic's effect triggers in graveyard since something was destroyed that was originally fire. Special eliminate itself out onto the field. And then Garunic's effect triggers to destroy from hand, deck, or field. Will destroy another Kieran from deck. This will trigger Kieran's effect to summon out the Avatare. And then we can pop a card on our opponent's field as well because of Kieran's effect, which is very, very nice to see. And then we can go ahead and trigger, if they ever activate a monster effect, we can do Avatare's effect, you know, destroy the Heat Soul to negate that effect. And then whenever they normal or special, we can do the Sanctuary of the Fire Kings to overlay into the rank 8, which is just a dark hole for anything, right? So that dark holes everything. And then we can do Avatare's effect since it was destroyed, special back Phoenix from the graveyard, right? So didn't look that impressive. That was one pop, a monster negate, and a dark hole just off 2 cards by itself, and that was pretty nice to see. So what are my thoughts on the Fire King support? Well, I think this deck will have the potential to be a very good deck in the future. I don't think right now it can, and now let me explain why. So first thing first, I will say the new Fire King support is very, very, very good. Exactly what the Fire Kings need, and it puts it to a really good competitive standpoint as well. Very, very good. I also like that it doesn't need to necessarily be a big engine, so you can splash other engines into this. Like, obviously, I showed you the Snake Eye engine, and then obviously the Diabell Start engine can be played in this as well. But then again, you can play something like Tri-Brigade because Omen can search any winged beast from the deck, so they can search Phoenix for you, and that all you really need is Phoenix to kind of get your entire Fire King stuff going. So that's pretty good. You can also throw like in the Nadir package as well if you want to go like Nadir, dump Omen to search and stuff like that. Could be pretty cool as well. So overall, very, very good that it's being able to get splashed into other decks as well, which is what I like about it as well. But the reason why I think it probably will not be as good as it's doing in the OCG right now is because we're missing a couple of key cards. Obviously, I showed you the Snake Eye engine in the combo because that's what the OCG is doing right now, but the main difference between our Snake Eyes engine and their Snake Eyes engine is they have Snake Eyes Populous. Snake Eyes Populous does so much for the Snake Eyes engine. Very, very good for them to have in the OCG, and we're missing this card. This card does not come out until Phantom Nightmare, which comes out in February, so we don't have this card yet. So that is a very important thing for the Snake Eyes engine. But another thing we're missing is Promethean Princess. Now this Link 3 is completely broken, and I'll probably make a video in the future covering this card exactly, but we also don't have this card, and this card does so much for fire decks, especially for the Fire Kings. And not only does it spell summon a fire monster from your graveyard, which can help you link climb, but it's also interruption during your opponent's turn as well. So that's another key card we're missing, and it will not come out until February. So overall, especially in this diverse meta, I think right now Fire Kings will maybe slot into like the Rogue and maybe tier 2, but I don't think it's going to be in like 1.5 or 1. But maybe in the future, once we get these new cards that come out of Phantom Nightmare, maybe you can do something then, and we should have a ban list around that time as well. So in the future, this could be a deck that you can look out for, but as of right now, I think maybe you just pick up the structure decks and hold on to the deck until eventually we get the good support in Phantom Nightmare. But that is my thoughts. If you do think I'm wrong, let me know in the comments down below. I'd love to read what your opinions are. I hope you guys did enjoy the video. If you did, leave a like and subscribe for more content on the channel, and I hope to see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.